Most gardeners will never see their tomato plants reach their true potential, not because of bad soil, not because of the wrong fertilizer, and not because of pests. It's because of one small mistake they make every single week without even realizing it. A mistake that silently steals up to half their harvest. Half. 50% of the fruit that should be on their plates, in their sauces, filling their jars, just gone. Not because something went wrong, because something was never done. And here is the part that should make you angry. The fix takes less than 5 minutes per plant. It requires no special equipment, no expensive products, no technical knowledge, just the right information applied at the right time. By the end of this video, you will have that information. And I'll prove it works with real data from university trial gardens that measured yield differences of 40 to 50% between gardeners who did this and gardeners who didn't. Stay with me, because what you are about to learn will permanently change the way you grow tomatoes. There is a gardener in northern Italy whose tomato plants stop people in their tracks every summer. 6-7 feet tall, loaded with deep red, perfectly formed fruit, hanging in clusters so heavy the branches strain under the weight. His neighbors ask him every year what fertilizer he uses. He smiles and says the same thing every time. I don't feed them more. I take things away. They laugh. They go home. They buy more fertilizer. And their plants keep struggling. That gardener isn't being cryptic. He's describing the single most important principle in high-yield tomato cultivation, and it has a name, a history, and a science behind it that most home gardeners have never been told. Here is what you need to understand before anything else. A tomato plant is not trying to grow tomatoes for you. It doesn't care about your harvest. It is simply trying to survive, to spread its seeds before the season ends. And when left alone, it doesn't focus, it scatters. It sends energy in 50 directions at once. It grows leaves it doesn't need. It branches into stems that will never produce a single fruit. It creates a crowded, tangled canopy that traps moisture and invites disease. The plant thinks it's being productive, but it's burning itself out. This is the problem that pruning solves. The tomato is not originally from Europe or North America. It comes from the highlands of South America, where it grew wild as a vine, clinging to other plants, constantly reaching for light. That environment shaped it into an aggressive, endless grower. When Spanish explorers brought tomatoes to Europe in the 1500s, farmers quickly discovered that these plants were difficult to manage. Wild, sprawling, uncontrollable. Farmers in Spain and Italy began experimenting, staking plants, building frames, and eventually removing certain shoots. What they found surprised them. The plants they cut actually did better, more fruit, better health, longer seasons. This knowledge spread the slow way, father to son, neighbor to neighbor, and it was almost entirely lost to modern gardening culture. Until now. They called the technique suckering. And for serious tomato growers in the Mediterranean, it wasn't optional. If you wanted tomatoes that sold at market, tomatoes people walked across town to buy, you learned to sucker your plants. Here is what a sucker is. Look at your tomato plant's main stem. Now look at where a leaf branch meets that stem. See that V-shaped angle between the branch and the stem? That small shoot growing in that angle? That is a sucker. Left alone, it becomes a full secondary stem. Give it 2 weeks and it's as thick as your main stem. Give it a month and you have 2 competing stems fighting for the same root system. 2 becomes 4. 4 becomes 8. The energy dilution is exponential. Every sucker that grows is energy stolen from your fruit. But, and this is where most guides get it wrong, not every sucker should be removed. Some suckers, left at exactly the right moment, become the most productive part of the entire plant. The skill is knowing which ones to take, and which ones to keep. Before you touch your plants, you need to answer one question. What type of tomato are you growing? Because the pruning rules are completely different depending on the answer. Type 1. Determinate tomatoes. These are bush-type plants, Rama, Celebrity, Rutgers. They grow to a fixed size, produce all their fruit in one burst, then stop. With determinate tomatoes, do not aggressively remove suckers. These plants need their full canopy to fuel that single fruiting push. You clean up damaged growth and remove shoots below the first flower cluster. That's it. Type 2. Indeterminate tomatoes. These are the vining varieties. Cherry tomatoes, Brandywine, San Marzano, most heirlooms. They will grow until frost kills them if you let them. Without management, they become tangled, unmanageable, and ultimately less productive. These are the plants that reward serious pruning. These are the plants this video is about. Here is exactly how to prune an indeterminate tomato plant. Step 1. Identify your main leader stem. This is the single dominant central stem growing straight up from the base. Your goal is to maintain this as the plant's primary highway for energy and nutrients. Step 2. Find the suckers. Look at every V-shaped angle where a leaf branch meets the main stem. Any shoot growing in that angle is a sucker. Step 3. Remove them early. When suckers are under 1 inch long, pinch them out with your thumb and index finger. Clean. Simple. The plant barely registers it. Once they grow larger than 1 inch, switch to clean, sharp pruners or scissors. Make a clean cut. Leave a small stub, about 1/4 inch. This stub acts as a buffer and reduces the risk of infection at the cut site. Step 4. Sterilize your tools between plants. A quick wipe with rubbing alcohol or diluted bleach solution. This one habit, 30 seconds of your time, prevents bacterial and fungal disease from spreading across your entire garden. Most people never do this, and it costs them plants every single year. The insurance sucker. Here's a technique professional growers use. When your plant is young and has only 2 or 3 leaf nodes, identify the first sucker that develops directly below the first flower cluster. Leave it. Allow it to grow to about 6 inches, then tie it gently to your support alongside the main stem. This is your insurance stem. If your main leader is damaged, snapped by wind, broken by a stake, attacked by pests, your insurance sucker becomes the new leader. Your season continues. Your harvest is protected. Once the plant is clearly healthy and established, you can choose to remove it if you want strict single-stem growing. Or you can maintain it as a permanent second stem, a 2-leader system that many experienced growers prefer. Let's talk about what this actually produces. Side-by-side trials in university extension gardens have measured the difference between pruned and unpruned indeterminate tomato plants. The results are consistent across multiple studies. Pruned plants outperform unpruned ones by 40 to 50% in total usable yield, not because the plant grows more aggressively, but because energy is focused rather than scattered. Think of a river. Wide and shallow, spread across a floodplain, it moves slowly and carries very little. Narrow that same river into a deep channel, and it becomes powerful, fast, forceful, able to carve through rock. Your pruned plant is that deep channel. Your unpruned plant is the floodplain. Beyond yield, the structural benefits compound throughout the season. Open canopies mean better airflow, which means dramatically lower humidity around leaves and stems, which means significantly less fungal disease, less blight, less mold, less early plant death. In humid climates or wet summers, this difference can determine whether your plants survive at all. The light factor is equally significant. A plant with 15 stems has vast areas of its canopy in permanent shade. Those shaded leaves don't contribute energy, they consume it. Remove the clutter, and every remaining leaf receives direct light. The plant becomes a precision instrument aimed at one target, fruit. Earlier, I promised to show you the pruning mistake that actually makes things worse. Here it is, inconsistency. Gardeners who learn about suckering feel inspired, and then prune everything at once on a plant they've let go for weeks, often trigger what researchers and experienced growers call pruning shock. A plant that has been building its architecture around 12 stems doesn't respond well to losing 10 of them in a single afternoon. It may drop developing fruit. It may produce tough, bitter tomatoes. It may simply stall, stunned by the sudden loss. The lesson is not that pruning is dangerous. The lesson is that late, aggressive, catch-up pruning is start at transplant time. Remove suckers every 5 to 7 days during the rapid growth phase of early summer. When they're small, removal is effortless and the plant never misses a beat. Let them go for 3 weeks and you're making real cuts that leave real wounds. Consistency is the entire game. 5 minutes per plant, once a week. That's the commitment. That's what separates the gardener, whose neighbors stop at the fence, from everyone else on the street. Here is the debate that still simmers in serious gardening circles. A school of thought, held quietly but passionately by experienced growers, argues that single-stem pruning is too aggressive. Their first argument is structural. A single-stem plant is fragile. One bad storm, one snapped leader, one severe pest attack, and your entire season is at risk. A multi-stem plant has redundancy built in. It can lose a branch and keep going. It's resilient in the way wild things are resilient. Their second argument is flavor. Some heirloom growers insist, with real conviction, that lighter pruning produces tomatoes with more complex layered flavor. The theory: mild resource competition among 2 or 3 stems triggers the production of more secondary metabolites, the compounds responsible for acidity, sweetness, and depth of flavor. A plant that is too efficiently managed, they argue, may grow larger tomatoes but blander ones. Is it true? The science is genuinely inconclusive. Different varieties respond differently. Growing conditions vary enormously, and flavor, ultimately, is subjective. This is the kind of debate that happens at harvest festivals over long tables, where nobody is entirely wrong and everyone has results to point to. The practical takeaway? If you're growing for maximum quantity and health, single or double stem, consistent suckering. If you're growing a prized heirloom variety specifically for flavor, consider a lighter touch. 2 or 3 stems. Less aggressive removal. Watch your plant. Let the results teach you. These old techniques didn't stay buried forever. The internet brought them back and then pushed them further. Gardening communities began sharing traditional suckering methods from Italy, Spain, and France. Commercial greenhouse operators growing premium tomatoes for high-end restaurants, where a single perfect tomato can sell for 10 times the price of a supermarket one, refine these techniques into precision systems. 2 practical upgrades worth knowing. Here is what this all comes down to. Your tomato plant is not failing you. It is doing exactly what millions of years of evolution designed it to do, spreading as wide and as far as possible. Your job is not to fight that. Your job is to partner with it. When you remove a sucker, you are not hurting the plant. You are redirecting its enormous energy from 50 directions into one, and the plant responds, not with confusion, but with power. The gardener in northern Italy who told his neighbors, "I take things away," he wasn't being mysterious. He was telling the truth as simply as he could. The path to more is sometimes subtraction. The path to a full harvest is a pair of clean hands, a sharp set of pruners, and the discipline to show up every single week and do the quiet work that nobody notices. Until harvest day, when everyone stops at the fence and wonders how you did it. Now you know. So here is your challenge. Go to tomato plants today. Right now, if they're in the ground, find one sucker. Just one. Pinch it out. Then come back next week and do it again. That's the whole habit. That's how it starts. If you already prune your tomatoes, drop a comment below telling us what difference you've seen: yield, flavor, plant health, whatever stands out. And if you want the complete seasonal tomato care guide, everything from transplant to final harvest, that video is right here. Don't let another summer pass with a harvest that's half of what it should be. You have the information now. Use it.